right there because of His Majesty's ship, because the column. Because one thing I love about this picture here is so significant on many levels is Africa and Arabia. You notice where this is a certain sector of the world, but how His Imperial Majesty has Africa and Arabia between those JACHIN Boaz, JACHIN Boaz pillars right there. This is our true inheritance. You understand? This is what Genesis chapter 15 is speaking about, not that little landing strip up at that beachfront property. That's what they're fighting over. The land of Israel or Jezreel is the beachfront property. It's not really the true location of ancient Israel, but be that as it may, so it's a part, it's connected to the inheritance, but it's not the ancient most portion of the inheritance, you understand, of the land, but it's the beach. It's like Coney Island, like they're fighting over Coney, for real. So they're fighting over Coney Island. It's beachfront property, but this is a good picture right here of our true inheritance, and it's His Imperial Majesty's office between these two columns, as you see right here, the JACHIN and Boaz, which is actually the very same position that where Christ, the Messiah, at what was called Solomon's temple, that we now get to understand was actually Herod's temple. It's where Yahushua HaMashiach, he taught seated, you understand, at the entrance between, around or between that JACHIN and Boaz, the JACHIN and Boaz column. Often referred to in the Bible as Solomon's porch, especially in the New Testament, Solomon's porch. So now in His Imperial Majesty's Biro, or in his office, we see the imperial desk right here. In another photo, we see him actually at the desk. You understand? We see this map, this large, oversized map of Africa. And in this large, oversized map of Africa, it's not just Africa pretending that the Arabia and portions of the east don't exist in the Mediterranean Sea. You know what I'm saying? So you can see this is the area, the dominion actually, you understand, of the Beta Israel, Ethiopian Hebrew sovereign. That's his dominion. This is where the dominion of Haile Selassie, our dominion, our promised land dominion, all the way you can see going into the Mediterranean, you understand, which is inclusive, actually those two little legs that you see up there at the top of the screen is Greece and Italy. And the southern portion of Spain is also in the picture. That's where the Moors, you understand, because the Moors are Ishmael's children. And Ishmael's children are also Hebrews, you understand, and if they do well, they receive a barakat as well. They receive a blessing. So it's very important to look at this particular map that His Imperial Majesty has in his office right here and to study this. You understand, to really understand the significance of this. You understand, we pointed out the temple columns, you understand, the JACHIN and the Boaz columns, and that has its own significance of two pillars, you understand, which for us, these two pillars are symbolic of the commandment of Ha-Elohim, the commandment of God. We are those who keep the commandment of God. In Revelation, we say, I'll make you a pillar in the temple of my God, and you shall go no more out. So these two columns here, the JACHIN Boaz columns in His Imperial Majesty's office, are significant for what Revelation states as these are they who keep the commandments of God, one of the pillars, one of the columns. The other column, you understand, is for those who keep the commandments of God and the testimony of JACHIN Jesus Christos. And this is what we know of Kedamawi Haile Selassie. It's kept the commandments of Ha-Elohim, you understand, kept the commandments, you understand, including the seal of the commandments, which is the Senbet or the Shabbat, which is the Sabbath. You understand, that's also another significant reason when we talk about the silver-based economy, the CIA, Mystery Babylon, the conspiracy against His Imperial Majesty. You understand? That was another reason, because he knew and he acted on his Judeo-Christian roots and foundation. And then the other column, you know what I'm saying, is a testimony of JACHIN Jesus Christus. And it's from this very same office in the Christmas Lutheran interview, where Imperial Majesty once again articulates that. You understand? And from eyewitness examples, not only did he articulate it, but he also acted on it. Very significant picture right here, the office of His Imperial Majesty. But the main thing I want to point out in this picture, in addition to the columns, you understand, and their mystic, metaphysical, or some can even say Masonic significance, is the map of our inheritance. So when we speak about Africa, you understand, and we're speaking about Africa, we should keep this region of the world in mind, and should remind ourselves, if you get a map of Africa and you put it up there, don't cut out the so-called Middle East or Arabia. It is part of our inheritance. It's a part of the inheritance of us, you understand, and our children and children's children's children. You need a scripture reference. Genesis chapter 15, verse 18 is the reference. You get a close-up map, and you can actually go from one river to the next river and see the main part of that inheritance, which is Arabia and the eastern, you understand, you can say the eastern portion, you understand, of Africa. You understand? But the inheritance has been Joseph's, or increased to the whole of the continent, including Madagascar, portions of Spain, even Rome and Italy. This is the most interesting thing. So speaking about the rebellion of Lucifer, that actually Rome and Italy, you understand, is in the territory ruled by the King of Kings, yet the rebellion against him would come out of that north. Notice where it says the north country. If you look at this map, you can see exactly where the north country is in this map right here. So that's a little overview about this particular picture right here. This is why we included this one in the documentary. It's Throne of His Imperial Majesty. Okay, that's the camp. Okay, now these are some of the other pictures.